Risk Management in Building Information Modeling. Hello everyone, I am Dipak Aditya. The risk management video is supplement number 2 for organizational change of implementing Cloud BIM. I am highly interested to present this video to you. Chapters of Risk Management in Building Information Modeling. It starts with the concept of project risk, then project risk management processes. Chapter 3 is risk management strategy. Chapter 4 is about risk management approaches in the BIM environment. Chapter 5 is BIM project risk management with MiCRM. Then the processes for risk identification with emphasis on safety risk. Finally, case studies. There are 7 processes of risk management. Plan risk management, identify risk, perform qualitative risk analysis, perform quantitative risk analysis, plan risk responses, implement risk responses, and monitor risk. Each of them is described in the later slides. Risk categories of all sources of project risk. They are technical risk, management risk, commercial risk, and external risk. Please see the figure. Understanding risk management. Risk management targets to identify and manage risk to minimize the probability of risk. There are 2 levels of risk within the project, individual risk and overall project risk. The risk management approach covers both levels. There are non-event risks in the project as well. They are variable risk and ambiguity risk. Variable risk is uncertainty in an activity or plan event. An example is the number of defects found during testing. Ambiguity risk is uncertainty that might happen in the future. An example is the future development of a regulatory framework. The overall project risk is the effect of uncertainty on the project as a whole, arising from all sources. Integrated risk management and risk appetite. Integrated risk management is the coordination of organization-wide risk management to ensure alignment with the organization. Risk appetite is the degree of acceptable risk exposure by the stakeholders. It is a measurable risk threshold. Identify risk and perform qualitative risk analysis. The risk register is the product of identify risk with a list of identified risks, potential risk owner, and list of potential risk responses. The potential risk owner is confirmed in qualitative risk analysis, and the list of risk responses is confirmed in the plan risk responses process. Perform qualitative risk analysis requires an assessment of probability and impact. Perform quantitative risk analysis. This is not required in all projects. Modeling techniques are used in this process. The tornado diagram is presented in the security analysis. The Monte Carlo analysis produces a S-curve representing the probability of achieving any particular outcome. Plan and implement risk responses. Plan risk responses development needs expert judgment with experience in threat management. Also the benefit analysis on the impact of individual project risk to identify cost effectiveness. Implement risk responses also needs expert judgment with previous experience in validating risk responses. Both processes may result in the change requests. Monitor risk. It is performed throughout the project. To monitor risk, it needs expert knowledge of validating or modifying risk responses. Risk review can also help. The risk monitoring may result in a change request for the cost and schedule. The change request has to go through the formal change control procedure. Risk strategies for negative risk, positive risk, and overall risk. For both negative and positive risk, it can be escalated to upper management. For negative risk, it is escalated when the threat is outside the scope. For positive risk, it is escalated when the project sponsor agrees. Avoidance and transfers are strategies for negative and overall risk. Avoidance is mainly to eliminate the threat. Transfer involves shifting the responsibility, often involves payment. Mitigating is a strategy for negative and overall risk. In negative risk, action is taken to reduce the probability of occurrence and impact. For overall risk, strategies involve changing the level of overall project risk to optimize the chances of achieving the project objectives. Accept is a strategy for all kinds of risk. In negative risk, the risk is acknowledged with the existence of the risk, but no action is taken. For positive risk, it is accepting an opportunity, but no proactive action is taken. For overall risk, no proactive action is possible. Exploit risk strategy is applicable for positive risk and overall risk. Positive risk strategy may be selected for high priorities. For overall risk, it is accepting the effect of the risk. Share and enhance risk strategies are used only for positive risk. Sharing involves transferring ownership of an opportunity to a third party to save the benefit, often involves payment of risk premium. Enhanced strategy is used to increase the probability and impact of an opportunity. BIM-based risk management approach. For the planning and design risk, the approach is automation of MIG design, BIM RFID integration, and modular coordination rules for inconsistency in modular design process. BIM risk management. For manufacturing risk, the approach is BIM RFID simulation integration for automatic modules, BIM simulation for managing modules for the manufacturing process, and BIM-based 4D simulation and visualization. BIM risk management for logistic risk. The approaches are BIM RFID integration for effective module production line balancing, facilitate information sharing, and module assembly schedule control. BIM GIS integration for delivery of modules to the site, and the MIC logistic management and sequencing. BIM approach for on-site assembly risk and multi-phase risk. Approaches are BIM automation of assembly of the sequencing process, and MIG design and BIM RFID integration to improve the collaboration of stakeholders. For multi-phase risk, apply BIM laser scanning integration for accurate dimension estimation. BIM risk management approach for communication and stakeholder risk. For poor communication, apply BIM AR VR integration to facilitate communication between stakeholders. BIM CCT integration for mixed supply chain management is effective in risk management. Can use BIM RFID integration for effective project information management. What is MIG? As mentioned before, it is a form of construction freestanding module manufactured and assembled in an off-site factory and then transported to the building site for installation. The MiCRM is a fully automated BIM-based system. Relationship between BIM and MiCRM. Both are disruptive technologies. BIM assists in visualizing to resolve any conflicting issues. MiCRM is an effective risk management tool. MiCRM focuses on software improvement, automated system development, and automatic rule checking integration. Please see the BIM-based MiCRM process in the figure. BIM-based MiCRM has BIM alone, BIM STT integration, BIM 3D MCCT integration, and other applications to integrate BIM with the simulation that helps in risk management. Please read the note on the bottom right side of the figure. Safety rule identification mechanism. It starts with BIM model and risk identification rules. The risk state can be identified by SWRL 70 web rule language and marked as unsafe. When a risk is safe, The identification program will continue to detect the next component. See the diagram of construction risk knowledge. Revit is used to create the 3D model and Navisworks is used to scan the model. The information exchange module, knowledge management module, and construction risk knowledge base are combined to retrieve construction risk knowledge. Logical model of intelligent management of safety risk. The figure here provides a logical model for fabricated building construction. It contains the integration of BIM technology, fabricated building ontology, and a safety rule risk base. Identification of risk by BRIES. In BRIES, the IFC standards play a bridge between the BIM data in construction safety risk. An integrated knowledge base, rule base, and case base are then established to systematize the fragmented explicit and tacit knowledge. Finally, a hybrid inference approach with case-based reasoning and rule-based reasoning combined is developed to improve the flexibility and comprehensiveness of system. Case study: construction risk knowledge of the underground diaphragm wall system. See the figure. With appropriate reasoning, the concepts of domain can help new information and better query to make a complete description of the risk knowledge content. Case study of risk identification in a subway. See the figure. The design stage mitigates most of the risk. In the construction stage, performs identify risk factors, risk monitoring, and risk event estimate to optimize construction. Acknowledgement. I gratefully acknowledge Project Management Institute and many learned professionals I referred to in this video, risk management in building information modeling. Thank you.